Hey everybody, it's Chris and Teresa, and this is our quick slideshow presentation of Monstermania20 convention in Baltimore, Maryland, actually Hunt Valley, but of course the car you're seeing in the front here is Christine. Not the actual one from the movie, but one that was rescued by a fan back in 2001. It was a bigger piece of junk than the one that was in the movie, but it took them 10 years to restore to this point, and it is a beauty. One of the most amazing things we found out was when we saw it was it is a lot more of an orange tone to it than the red that we would see in the film. It does photograph darker, um, but the apparently that's the color that the car was because they did see an original um, car from the film itself. But in this particular frame, it does look a lot more like Christine there, but it looks a lot more orange, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But it was really cool to get a chance to stand next to whether an authentic vintage car like this, and especially one that has such notoriety in the genre field. So when we got there, the first thing we did was head to the longest line of the day and wanted to knock it out because we were about to meet an icon that I couldn't believe we got a chance to see. Of course, that's John Carpenter. I'm not always the biggest fanboy as far as when I meet people, but I was absolutely overwhelmed getting a chance to meet one of my idols, and it doesn't disappoint. A lot of other guys that we got a chance to meet here. Of course, this tall drink of water is Tommy Lee Wallace, the production designer of Halloween, as well as director of films such as It and Fright Night 2, Season of the Witch. Had a lot of insightful information about the films he had worked on. Everyone deserves a good scare. It's Charles Cyphers, who was, of course, Sheriff Lee Brackett in Halloween. Very friendly guy. Um, he's again one of Carpenter's regulars that he uses. Um, right here, PJ Souls is amazing. You cannot believe how sweet she is. Um, she had a little connection with Teresa, as you can see. PJ rocking the Bride of Frankenstein, while Teresa is giving homage to her man Bela Lugosi. This is Tommy Doyle, aka Brian Andrews, and Brian. Oh, he doesn't do a lot of film work these days. He did happen to be in, as one person says, the film to be in. Next up is the Atkins. Tom Atkins, absolute great guy. He's getting up there in age, but still full of energy and really sharp wit. Um, really nice guy. The next person you're going to see, I'll tell you, she's a great femme fatale, and that as Julia in Hellraiser. This is Claire Higgins. This is her first convention in the United States, and she was an absolute delight. Um, she spent a lot of time with each individual fan, and she was really so genuine and delightful. I mean, you can just see the expression on her face of how much energy she had, and she just was thrilled at how much people absolutely adored her, and she looks great. She looks absolutely great. Um, Next one up is, if you can't recognize him, that's Zach Galligan, who was in Gremlins, and so Teresa felt bad at one point because she thought she was talking a little too much about Gizmo, but I reassured her Zach understood exactly who the star of the movie was. This young lady here is Barbara Crampton from Reanimator and From Beyond. I actually didn't get a chance to chat too much with her. I was in conversation with an agent and other celebrity, but Teresa got chatted her up a bit about From Beyond because the movie freaked her out, huh?
Yes, it did. It's so scary.
This is from the VIP party. John Carpenter had cut the cake, but later on they had some of the Michaels do their handiwork with whatever kitchen tool they could, and that's Chris Durand, Brad Loree, and looking on Dick Warlock. There's Tommy Lee Wallace in the background. These guys are quite interesting. Chris is very reserved, and Brad is the exact opposite, just a ball of energy. But it was a pretty good time at the party. I have there. Let's see. This is Kristen Bauer and Lauren Bowles from True Blood. Now, I've never seen True Blood. Really not a big fan of it, but a friend of mine didn't believe I'd be with him, so I just took a picture with him. And though I might be vertically challenged, they were wearing really big heels, so they're not as big. Or I'm not as short as it seems. Dick Warlock, one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. Here, cutting up the cake a bit. Of course, Dick was Michael Myers in Halloween 2. Really great guy. You should really try to meet him someday if you get a chance to go to a convention. Here's Chris Durand. Actually, right in the background over Teresa's shoulder, that gentleman there is Dave Hagen, who is the promoter for Monster Mania. And I'll tell you, one of the best promoters out there. Really cares about his fans, puts on a great show. This guy's great. This is Jonathan Fuller, and we had a great time with John. He was Giorgio, the creature in Castle Freak, and he hadn't done a convention in 10 years, so it was really great to see him. And he spent a lot of time with us talking, and we really enjoyed our time with him. There's Brad Loree, Michael Myers from Halloween Resurrection. He was having a good time dancing with as many girls as he could and tilting them back, and he was feeling it the next day, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Dick Warlock and with us. Dick and his wife are really awesome. He made mention he met her in a year after his career started in 1956. So I guess in a way he was saying he was robbing the cradle, and he was pretty proud of that. But Dick and his wife are great, so get a chance to meet him someday. Obviously, most people will recognize this guy. This is Jeffrey Combs from too numerous films to mention. We didn't see him the day before, but we just blamed John and Barbara, saying that they told us he was too old and had to get to bed early. The highlight for Teresa was meeting this guy, of course, is Anthony Michael Hall. Teresa, of course, you're a big 80s chick, so
yes.
meeting a icon from the movies such as Breakfast Club, Weird Science, 16 Candles, she was really thrilled.
Made my day.
Looks like you're actually sinking in quicksand, Teresa. Wow, I hope this... I gotta change the setting of this, but the face that's coming into play here, and I don't know how well it's gonna come into play, but it is Buddy Repperton, William Ostrander from Christine. The following day, Teresa showed off her shirt from Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery to PJ, and PJ said, "Oh, we got to take another picture." So PJ loves the camera, but she is so super sweet. This is from the Q&A for Stuart Gordon. It's Jonathan Fuller, Barbara Crampton, and Jeffrey Combs, even in that blurred state. Again, really great people to talk with, and I got to tell you, Jonathan Fuller was so cool, and we can't wait to see if you get a chance to meet him again. Footage from the Q&A for Monster Squad, Stephen Macht, Ashley Banks, and Andre Gower. Andre's, of course, played the part of Sean. Really clever, witty kid. He was really fun in his Q&A. Woman in the middle there, I just can't believe that is little Phoebe from the movie. She just grew up to be a real stunning young lady. And this was a rare appearance by Stephen Macht, who played Dell. Now, of course, he was also in Graveyard Shift as well. So it was a real treat to get some ones we don't normally get. This guy is awesome. It's Joe Turkel. He was Lloyd the bartender in The Shining and Eldon Tyrell in Blade Runner, and we'll talk about it in a later video how great Joe Turkel is. This was cool. We 410 Goodfellas. Tim, Teresa, and I had gone out for dinner, and when we came back, we saw this hearse parking in the front. And how cool does this thing look with that hood ornament? I mean, actually, you'll see it in a second. That thing is rocking. And Teresa half-kiddingly said, "Hey, that's your next car." And of course, everyone that's following us knows I had some car trouble with my suspension dropping, and I'm going to probably have to get a new car. So, you know, I'm going to probably have to look into seeing that if I can get one. If nothing else, it'll be interesting to see what the family says, huh?
Yeah. That'd be so awesome if you got one.
Except when the family sees it and she's like, "Teresa, really, why did you marry him?" But here we are again with the lovely Claire Higgins. And the gentleman next to her is Simon Bamford, who you may know as Butterball from the Hellraiser movies. He was the Cenobite. He had some great stories about being locked up in that costume, and where he was really sensory deprivation. And what did he say? And at points in times he ended up crying, and no one knew because they couldn't tell. But the next one was a Q&A, of course, with John Carpenter. And here, this pose, it looks like pretty much what Carpenter said. He wants to put his hand out, and he wants money, a check to fall from the sky for residuals into his hand. Standing in the background is Philadelphia horror host Rob Dimension, who was a really great guy to meet. We talked with Rob for a considerable amount of time that day, and he had mentioned how much John influenced him, and to his surprise later in the day, Dave gave him the keys to the car, per se, and allowed him to host the Q&A with John Carpenter, so it was a dream come true for Rob. Here are a few stills, a little blurry, but these were from the Halloween cast Q&A panel. It was a pretty good panel, but really didn't top the Friday the 13th and one from Connecticut, or more so even the Jason panel that happened at the Monster Mania, what was it, 18, the Friday, Return to Camp Crystal Lake one. But again, it's always a delight to hear from all of these great actors, and then taking their time to spend their weekend with us. It was tremendous, and you know, we did go away with some great memories. And finally, of course, we got to give a shout out to Tim, aka 410 Goodfellas, who we finally got a chance to meet face to face early Friday morning for a publicity shoot for Dave Hagen, and then later, of course, throughout the weekend, we got to hang out with Tim, and you know, it was a great chance to meet a fellow YouTuber, and you know, we really enjoyed his company, and we look forward to hopefully hanging out at you know, future conventions. So that's pretty much it. Final shot that you're going to see, there's, of course, Tim, myself, and my lovely bride, and we are pretty much done. Hope you check out the rest of our videos. I'll do a quick recap of some of the stuff we had signed in the future. Thanks for watching.